Hello, everybody, whoever finds this recording at some point in the future. I hope you're having a nice day, evening, whatever it is for you out there. Next to me is a quote that has been coming across my screen on and off for the past, God, what is it, 3 months now? Ever since Wizards of the Coast decided that they were going to try to shut down independent creativity in the role playing game business by revoking the open game license. Never mind that there are applications of that open game license that Wizards of the Coast cannot absolutely have any control over, such as when it got applied to the Open D6 game. Again, there's still a way they can kill the OGL 1.0A, but that is still not the tack they've taken, which continues to baffle me a little bit. What's also baffling to me is, again, the quote that's up on the screen next to me. It says, well, first, it's from Kyle Brink, executive, Wizard of the Coast executive producer of D&D. And I'm going to assume that picture of the uh, guy with the glasses, the white guy with the glasses, is Kyle Brink. And quote is taken from an interview by him. There's been mistakes made, and reading here. There's been mistakes made in years past where people assumed that D&D players were all, white dudes in a basement, which has been a faulty assumption for a lot of years and gets more and more false every day. And so in my viewpoint, honestly, guys like me can't leave soon enough for this hobby. That raises many questions for me. The first and foremost being, why does Kyle Brink have the title Wizards of the Coast executive producer of D&D? Clearly he doesn't believe he's fit for that job. After all, honestly, quoting Kyle here, honestly, guys like me can't leave soon enough for this hobby. Kyle, why aren't you working at 7-Eleven? Why don't you go to the police academy or go back to college and get yourself a degree in social work and go to work for the state, helping the poor, unfortunate people out there that don't have basements to live in, as a for example. You shouldn't. Clearly, you should not be working on the D&D property or probably any role-playing game properties. Second thing that popped into my mind from this quote: I've been playing role-playing games since the 1980s. I did not start with D&D. I started with a game called Star Frontiers. Um, I didn't get into D&D until several years later. And actually, I skipped AD&D First Edition entirely um, because of an editorial I read from its byline creator, Gary Gygax, that set me off. Didn't like the attitude that he seemed to be striking, that if you're not playing D&D the way I say you should play it, you're playing it wrong. Actually, a little bit reminiscent of Kyle Brink and certain other folks at Wizards of the Coast with their disclaimers on how everything that isn't produced by them is racist, sexist, and otherwise horrible. And so, yeah, I did not start with D&D. I've also only ever been, so I've been playing since the 80s. I've only been in two game groups during all that time that didn't have at least one female player in it, which, while she was white, they have definitely not been dudes, even in perhaps in the California sense where everybody is dudes, but they have not been dudes in the way I apply the word, and in the way Mr. Brink is applying the word in his statement here. I have literally, to the best of my recollection, never played D&D in a basement. So it's been a faulty assumption from the jump, as far as I can tell, at least in my experience. But then I didn't play in the 70s. I didn't play until the 1980s. And looking at the picture of Kyle Brink there, he didn't play in the 70s either. I doubt he even played in the 80s. But the bottom line is, he seems to be applying his experience, being a dork playing D&D in a basement, to everybody. And once again, I'm wondering, why does he have the title Wizards of the Coast Executive Producer of D&D? He should be not there. He should practice what he preaches. Kyle, for everybody's sake, get another job. Stop being miserable where you are. The sooner you get out of Wizards of the Coast, the happier you will be. After all, you feel you don't belong. You feel you shouldn't be there. So get out of role-playing games. Stop playing them. Stop working on them. Just stop. For your own good. For the good of all of us. Please, end your pain. Well, with that aside, this quote came across my screen yet again, with somebody trying to remind people that Wizards of the Coast hates a portion of their market. You know, the portion that people like Kyle Brink thinks that they can't leave the hobby soon enough. They clearly do not want money from, well, I wouldn't want money from people that I hate. Although I wouldn't want their money directly. You know, if people that I hate give me money, I feel obligated to, be nice to them, and I would really rather not. However, I don't care whether people that I hate or think should, quote, leave this hobby soon, that I think can't leave the hobby soon enough, and there are many of those. I'm still quite happy for them to buy my stuff. Actually, you know what? Let me retract that statement. I don't think anybody should leave the role-playing game hobby. I think everybody that likes playing role-playing games should play role-playing games. Everybody who's creative should produce role-playing games and supplements role-playing games under the OGL or whatever else they feel like. I just don't have to play with them. But even people whose opinions I don't agree with, or who I just don't like on a personal level, they're still welcome to buy my products. They're encouraged to buy my products. So if you don't want to give money to Wizards of the Coast, and you shouldn't, because everything that they say and do seems to imply that they don't want the money from a certain segment of the market, I'll take your money. Nulo Games will take your money. And there's this handy dandy, whatever these things are called. It's right there on the screen somewhere. I think it's, right there. Yeah, right there. Right there. Yeah, right there. They are called QR codes or some such a thing. I'm barely computer literate, so I don't know, but I'm told you scan those with your smartphone, and it'll give you a link, and you'll go to the Nulo Games page at Drive-Thru RPG, where you can buy my stuff. There are short story collections, there are comics, anthologies with role-playing game material in there that adapts to comics. And I will happily take your money. I don't even care if you're self-loathing person like Kyle Brinks, who thinks that he can't get out of the role-playing game hobby soon enough. Maybe if you buy some Nulo Games product, you can get over that self-loathing, Kyle, or whoever else is seeing this and who shares his opinion, because there's room for all of us. We can all play role-playing games whenever and however we want. We don't have to be in each other's groups. We don't have to care how other people play role-playing games. I know I sure as hell don't. But yeah, please, buy my stuff. My cats need to be fed. I need to put gas in the car. And maybe it can help you stop hating yourself. Hope everyone out there is going to have fun playing role-playing games this weekend or this evening. I'm going to have to run some errands, and then I'll be taking a nap because I'm trying to shake a bad headache. But I hope that I will be awake this evening because I am going to be playing role-playing games. I'm going to be playing in the weekly Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. game that's being run by a longtime friend of mine. He has adapted the D6 system to his interpretation of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And it's old white guys. Oh, yes, and oh my God, there's a woman in the group. Uh, Amazing that. Maybe Kyle Brink and his ilk just need to get out more, need to broaden their circle, actually need to see what real role playing gamers are like and who they are. All right, well, I'm out of here. Hopefully, I'll see everyone later when I've slept off this headache and there'll be a real stream, an actual stream, rather than just me pre recording something. Talk to everyone later.